Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is ready for his nemesis, Matt Gaetz, to face the same fate as George Santos. And McCarthy recently told a reporter that Gaetz may have committed some crimes that put Santos to shame. Wow, there is nobody in the country that knows as much about the Gaetz story as you do. So I'm going to hush. You take over.
This, the House Ethics Committee, which is the group, by the way, that did take down Santos when they finally released their report showing all the horrible things he did, and then they expelled him a few days later. One of the most outspoken people about not expelling Santos was this guy. Yeah. Matt Gaetz was heartbroken, and he said, how could we just get rid of people based on simple allegations and no convictions?
Well,
it sounds exactly like somebody in that position would say, because look, Matt Gaetz somehow, some way, did not get charged by the Department of Justice. They had multiple cooperating witnesses. They had the corroborating evidence. They had everything. I mean, Joel Greenberg, the guy who did go down for this, his lawyer even came out after this and said, there's no way. After what we gave them, how can you not criminally charge him?
Yeah, well, we see it all the time. Of course, we talk about this all the time with corporations, CEOs who create manslaughter. I mean, they murder people with the products they put out, knowing it. Well, opioids, 150 people died a day. Nobody went to prison. This is kind of a similar thing. Who's in power? What strings can you pull? But he was worried about McCarthy, wasn't he? Gaetz was worried about McCarthy, but what's happened here now is he's got McCarthy really, really pissed off. And McCarthy has some time on his hands right now.
He does.
He's not having to worry about that day-to-day stuff. McCarthy, probably my prediction is he will pick him apart little by little. But the question I have, why would he have done that? When you have a background like that, why do you put yourself in the limelight and now you're the target? It's almost like, who's the mayor of New York? What's the African American?
Adam.
Adam.
Is it Adam? Eric Adams?
Eric Adams. Okay,
Yeah.
So Eric Adams, he's doing great. He's everybody's Democratic hero, right? Until he starts saying, Biden, you're an idiot for what you're doing with immigration. You're killing New York City. Remember that?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you can't pick up a daily paper where they're not looking at something new with Eric Adams. May be true, but it was all quiet up until that time he started criticizing the administration. This is the same kind of deal. I mean, if he knew he had all that in his closet, why do you come out like that?
Well, and that's the thing that really does strike me as odd, because Matt Gaetz knew he was facing the House Ethics Committee investigation, which, according to McCarthy and according to independent reports, they have expanded it. They're now looking at new things that Gaetz may have allegedly done. And McCarthy says he's seen some of it, and it's worse than Santos, is what he says.
On the Senate side, why the hell is Menendez still there? How does a Democrat that complains about Santos or Gaetz, how does a Democrat complain about that when you got Menendez still there? I mean, even Fetterman saying, what the hell?
I do love that Fetterman is out there every day like, hey, can we get rid of this idiot?
I mean, he's a criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going to say alleged. He's a damn criminal. There's enough information. I prosecuted long enough to know they've got everything they need on the guy. But nevertheless, and his wife, oh, by the way, but nevertheless, he's going to just kind of hang around the Senate and hope everybody forgets. And the Democrats don't seem too upset by that. So how do you attack the Republicans about the same issue?
It is. You do see a lot of people try to struggle with that and kind of trip over themselves.
Well, what's the best answer? Do you have an answer for it?
I think you're a lot like Donald Trump in that regard, because if Trump, he always says like it's a political persecution. They're out to get me. Okay, no, it's about justice, but. If it's strictly about justice, you can't care about party ID, which means you got to care about it with Menendez. You got to care about it with Santos, with Gaetz, with Adams, with any of these people. Corruption is corruption. It transcends party lines.
Right.
And everybody has to be held accountable.
It used to. I think we've become so polarized and so tribal, it doesn't make any difference anymore.
Right.
So anyway, that's the state of affairs here in 2023, end of the year. Thank you for joining me, okay?
Thank you.
That's all for this week, but all these segments are going to be posted right here on this channel in the coming week. So make sure you subscribe. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where we tell you stories every week that corporate media won't tell you because their advertisers won't let them tell the story. They'll pull their advertising money. or their political connections to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, they won't allow for it. They'll get chastised for doing stories like we do. But you know what? We don't care. We're going to do the stories anyway. So hopefully we'll see you next time.